Hi, I'm Jenni Calihan, and I'm founder of Eat the Butter, which is a blog and website about eating real food and trying to get moms more interested and make it easier for them to feed their kids whole foods. And I'm also the co-author of a book called Dinner Plans. This is Bab's copy.
Yep, and I will get it autographed. Okay, well, thank you, Jenni, for joining Cheese Hangouts. Now, as I mentioned to you, we're at a conference, it's American Cheese Society Conference number 35, and I'm just interviewing a lot of people, and you're the first butter person, so congratulations.
Well, the dairy fat category, expand a little bit past cheese.
That's right,
Yeah.
beyond cheese. So I really enjoy your newsletter, I enjoy reading your blog, and I love the fact that when you send something out in your newsletter, it's all about what's new, what's new, what's fresh, and that's good because it's hard to keep up with the recent science, and I think you do a really good job on that.
Well, thank you. Yeah, that kind of evolved. I really find that I'm interested in following the news and trying to kind of curate it for my readers. So people who don't have time or aren't devoting a substantial portion of their time to keeping up on what the latest studies are, I try to summarize it in a quick weekly read so people can be on board with all the latest.
That's good. And would you say that most of your audience are just the parents that don't have degrees in science, or is it heavily scientific people?
I'm not sure, but I think mostly not scientific people. And I try to, because of that, I usually try to link to a news article, even if I'm linking directly to the study, because I feel like the media does a decent job of describing something in a little bit more approachable way than sometimes the abstract of a study. Take back your plate, and it was about getting back to the kinds of foods we used to eat before we got so distracted by all the processed food that was introduced because of convenience, but also because the USDA had recommended low-fat eating, and that required the manufacturers to sort of help us with that, right? Because they needed to take the fat out of our food all of a sudden.
Right.
So that was kind of the theory of the talk, and I was nervous, but I was also well prepared. I practiced a lot before I did that talk.
Well, let's go back to your book. I noticed one of the words that you use a lot in your blog and in your book, the word vintage. Tell us what that is.
Sure. Well, vintage eating for vibrant health is kind of the tagline for Eat the Butter. And really what I'm trying to evoke is the idea of going back and eating the way people ate 100 years ago. So going back to a time when Americans were much healthier in terms of chronic diseases. Yes, people were still dying of infections 100 years ago because we were not as evolved medically. But when you think about like diabetes, it was almost unheard of for people to have type 2 diabetes 100 years ago. And now, of course, it's incredibly common, as you know.
It's insane. Yeah, I just interviewed Ivor Cummings and Dr. Peter Vallerstadt in Austin at KetoCon, and we talked about that sort of thing, and it's really, I just hope that there's still hope for the health of our nation.
Yeah.
Are you optimistic?
Well, I am, but I think it's going to take more time than I would have hoped. And honestly, the part of what is confusing and is the science is very confused, and you see studies coming out on both sides of any issue. And so my feeling is until we can get that resolved, let's just go back to what we know worked. And that's where the vintage idea comes in again. Like, while we're waiting for the science to be done properly so that these issues can be settled in a more scientific way, can we default to culture, which is something that Michael Pollan said a long time ago, is defaulting to our cultural food rules until the science can step in.
Now, tell me, what kind of what's your audience?
So our audience is probably families, people that have to put dinner on the table night after night after night, maybe people who either don't know a lot about cooking, or people who just want basic recipes, because this is not a gourmet book at all. It's all super fast, everyday food.
Are there any cheese recipes?
There's a cheese plate where you
Oh,
would plate cheese as the protein course. So the book is divided, each plate is divided into 3, and the top portion, the most important portion, is the protein, and one of the protein options we offer is cheese. But there's cheese in a lot of the recipes that are as a more of a topping, like crumbled feta or blue cheese on top of a salad or on top of a vegetable dish.
Okay.
So
Good.
lots of cheese. We love cheese.
Yay, okay, good.
No.
Okay, well, thank you, Jenny, and I appreciate so much that you came in, and we had a nice lunch together, and thank you for that. And also, one more thing to Peter Ballersteck, Dr. Ballersteck introduced us to connect with us.
Yes.
So, as a result, this is what we get to do.
Thank you, Peter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
Thanks, Babs.